Good morning, everyone. It just turned 9 o'clock, so we will go ahead and get started. I love to run things on time, so we'll see how well we do today. We appreciate you being here. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Billy, will you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Billy.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes.
Billy Elbrock, New Mexico.
Scott Gibbs, Colorado.
Kim Smith Casford, New Mexico.
Mark Grable, Colorado.
Let the record reflect that there is a quorum.
And may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Superintendent's report. Marvin. Ed.
Approval of
The minutes.
the last
Oh, approval of minutes. Thank you.
Don't go far.
Sam, you're wonderful.
I'll move that we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved. Okay, now Marvin, it's your turn.
Okay. What we've been doing is we've been concentrating on trying to get all our passenger coach fleet on the road. So we got lots of inspections to do on them, and right now we're just about done with them. As we go forward, all the inspections and the underneath, the running carriage is what we've been doing now. Later on, as it warms up, we'll start doing a little bit of interior work on cars that need it, and we'll go from there on that. We'll start working on our plans, our road plans, fire plans, and all that. Try to get those submitted here. See if we can get all these in by the middle of April to get our whole operation going by then. We started. We did a configuration on one of the coaches. We moved some stuff around, trying to. We turned it into concession car handicap coach. That's what we did, and it was previously just a handicap coach. We moved stuff around to make room for a concession bar in there, and yet we're able to keep it as a handicap coach, so we can complete a third set of passenger train for our summer program. That way we can keep everything in line. We got that. We've started. I've sent some of the equipment up to get tested and get set up for Osier. This stuff takes a while before we can get somebody to do it. So one of the generators went up last week. The other one's got to go up in a week and a half or so. We'll get them load tested, those things, and get them back here before the beginning of the season. And that way, as soon as we can get into Osier, we like to get those in there, and we can test out everything that's going on at Osier. Other than that, on the track side of things, we got quite a bit of work to start off this spring. I've been talking with John. We're working to see if we can bring back all the track gang by the 1st of March. We got several bridge timbers that got to get changed out on the Chama River Bridge. Plus, we got to install that walkway. So that's I've been working with them to see if we can get that started and get it done before the water starts rising, if we get any water. It's That's the thing, but, that, you know, it's stuff that's gotta be done before we start the season. So that's where that one's at. We have roughly about 4,000 tons of rock that need to be scattered before the season, and hopefully I'd like to be able to get started here, you know, beginning of April. That way when our temper guy comes in, we're able to temp all that into place. And also, we've acquired a little bit more stuff for repair parts and everything for our motor car stuff, fleet and all that. So we are gonna have to make a trip to Texas to go get it. But with this deal, we're trying to see how much of it we can buy, see if we can just get the whole thing lump sum. And we pick up everything that the guy has. It's stuff that we use and we can't find anywhere. Nobody's making it, you know, and a lot of it's, you know, small parts that are they're obsolete. And so that's also coming our way here, that it's got to happen here in the next 2-3 weeks. So that we're gonna have to do. We need to start doing all our classwork here shortly. We need to get started on get all our first aid CPR certifications for all our crews. We also have to do our rules safety test for our trained crews, so that's coming. We'll try to set up and get all this done before, and we'll set up to do the people that are on board right now, and then when the bunch comes in for when the start of the season, we'll have another class to catch. That way we don't bunch everybody up. It's you know, it becomes more of a discussion instead of a class, and we can get stuff. We have to work a lot on how we're going to fill out reports and all that. Make sure that we stay on the right loop, you know, with the government on that. So that's stuff that's going to be coming our way. So that's what I got.
And can you say the number of ties that got replaced last year?
Our estimate was 1,450 regular ties, 50 some switch ties, but, you know, and that got turned over, and roughly 4,000 tons of ballast that was dropped.
That's amazing.
And 4 miles of track that was stamped.
Fantastic. Please pass on our appreciation to the team.
Well, you know, it takes everybody to do it, you know. And,
It certainly does.
We split up everybody. Everybody gets a chance to go here and there to do stuff, you know, and they all become a part of it, so they all own it, which makes it for a good part of it, you know. We're starting to get to where we're starting to build a backbone with the people that we have, and hopefully as new people come in, they can train the other ones to keep going on it. Yeah, and I think that's where we're making the biggest progress.
Absolutely. Any questions, comments from Marvin? Thank you very much, Marvin. We appreciate it. A report from Chief Mechanical Officer, Mr. Butler.
Good morning. So both Antonito and Chama shops are in the middle of our winter maintenance. You know, Chama's handling most of the locomotive work. We do have some locomotive work going on in Antonito. Mainly the 492 is being worked on, the boiler. And we'll be working on the 463 over there. Our plans for this coming season will to have the 168, 463, 487, 488, and 489 in service. Currently, 168 needs an annual inspection. We don't have any major work scheduled for it. Its first scheduled trips will be the Centennial trains at the end of end of July, beginning of August. 315 will be returning back to the railroad in May after its stint up at the Railroad Museum of Golden. and we'll need to do a little bit of work to it. We need to bore out one cylinder and replace some piston rings, and it's scheduled for a Pete Laro charter in October. 463 went back in service at the end of November, so it will not need an annual this year. We're gonna be doing a little bit of trailing truck work to it, and after the regular season, we can start doing the annual on it actually this season. 44 is down for 1472 day inspection, and we will not be probably doing any work on it this season. We'll be concentrating on 492 running gear once everything else is out of the shop. 47 is getting its 5-year stable cap inspection. We had 5 stables to replace on it. We're about halfway through that right now. We have a little bit of running gear work we're going to do to it, and it will get its annual here in the next couple of months this spring. 488 is in the middle of its annual inspection. We got a little bit of running gear work we're going to do before it'll be ready for this year. 49 has been getting most of the work done in the shop. It will have all new spring rigging. We had the tires turned this last summer. It got 1 new axle, 4 new crank pins, and it's got all new crown brasses, and we'll have all new rod brasses when it goes into service. So its running gear will be the freshest of all the engines. And we'll start putting drivers in here shortly once we're done with the spring rigging pin work. Like I said, the 492's boiler is in Antonito being worked on by that crew. We did all the tubes and flues are out of it. The boiler's been descaled. UT measurements have been taken on it. We had Steam Services of America here to look the boiler over. They took measurements for doing the Form 4 calculations. They also laid out our flexible stabled grid on it for our new stable pattern. And we'll start the running gear work this summer in Chama. 15 is still serviceable in Chama, but is definitely in need of some love. The 19 is running. 114 is operable, and it's getting set up to get a paint job this spring, help celebrate the birthday for Colorado as well as America. So we'll have a fresh new paint job coming out. The new passenger car 526 is finished, and like Marvin was saying, the flat top ADA car is getting a new interior with new restroom and snack counter. That's about the extent of the mechanical side.
That is a lot. A lot of good progress, and very exciting to hear the news on 492.
Mm-hmm. And we also got a couple new guys that's just started in the Chama shop, so they are starting to learn the mechanics of the locomotives, and will be involved with maintenance this summer, hustling, stuff like that. So we're trying to increase the shop force some.
Terrific.
And both are local to northern New Mexico.
Good. Do you want to just quickly go over the 1472s that are coming up?
So the next one coming up will be the 463, which will be at the end of the 2027 season. With how much work was done to that locomotive back in 2012 that the Friends had done, we're not anticipating much major work on it. It's pretty much going to be take the tubes and flues out, descale the boiler, measure everything, and put it back together. And so we're anticipating that being a fairly quick job to do, just because of how much work's been done to that engine and how it's been maintained. You know, it's got a fairly fresh running gear on it too right now, with new tires, new crown brasses, new rod brasses. So it's in pretty good shape.
Okay.
And then I think, is it the 88 that's next? We have another one coming up
Yeah.
a
the
year or
following
two
year.
after that.
The following year, I think 88.
Yeah, and that one, I don't know how much we're gonna have to do with it yet. Definitely tubes and flues, but we don't know about firebox work yet on that one. I do know when we get into the 484, we have extensive firebox work to do. We need front and rear flue sheets. So that's gonna be a big job, as well as the complete running gear.
And so we certainly have a lot of mechanical work coming up, and it's going to be very labor intensive, which also means expensive.
Yes. That's part of why I'm trying to increase our shop staffing and start building up our skill levels. So between the Antonito side and the trauma side, we can cover as much as we can in-house versus having to bring in outside contractors.
Very good. We appreciate that. Any other questions for Stephen? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Alicia for our financial report.
Good morning, everyone. So I'll be going over the first 2 quarters of the fiscal year, so our June 30th fiscal year. So I'll jump right into the HPA, the profit and loss statement. So we do see we're slightly down in our total income, and this is just the same time period as of 24. So our revenue nearly comes from the historic preservation fee, and although we do see the expenses increased from prior year, this is just primarily due to our contract services, along with the higher management liability insurance that is also covered in portions of the HPA. Our revenue stayed about the same, but our net income did drop a little bit in comparison to prior year, which is just primarily driven by the new contracts or the new contract service costs. Just going over into the balance sheet, so our total assets are up from prior year due to the large amounts of our intercompany transfers. So with the train operations, we do see an increase in our liabilities from prior year, and that's just our accounts payable. Into the commission. So again, this is a period for July through December. Our commission reported a total income of an increase from prior year. So our expenses are slightly lower from prior year, and that despite the increases in insurance and professional fees, we do see that the commission has achieved a significant improvement from prior year. So into the operating fund, our total income has just slightly exceeded prior year. This is driven by increase in ticket revenue and higher merchandise sales. The total operating expenses are up from prior year. This is primarily due to the payroll expenses, fuel and supplies, and increased contract services. So we do see a offset in our the mill service and our advertising expenditures. So with that, we do see our NOI has declined from prior year. So after we take into account for the intercompany transfers and the non-operating activity, the net income is reflecting a year-over-year decrease, but we do see continued positive operating results. Into the balance sheet of our operating company. So our total assets have decreased from prior year, primarily reflecting a deduction in our intercompany transfers. So again, this is just the due froms that we spoke about earlier. But we do see our total liabilities increased as well, and again, that's just driven by the high amounts of the due froms. And we do see an increase in our deferred revenue, so that's very good. And that's pretty much it. I mean, overall, the balance sheet reflects a continued reliance on intercompany fund financing. We do see the operating results year after year. So I think that's it for me. Have any questions?
Do we have questions?
None for me?
None for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank your team. It's not exactly the most visible part of operation, but absolutely critical, because we need money to run.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank your team for all their efforts associated with the payroll transfer program that you all have undertaken. I know that's been a huge, huge effort from both your side and the HR side. It's greatly appreciated, and I think the benefits that accrued to the employees will be a big reward for everybody.
Yes, I believe that the new opportunity that we're offering the employees may seem a little bumpy right now because of the transition or the migration to the new payroll company, but we're also offering them things that they were not offered before. So the benefit package does not just include the health coverage, it goes beyond that. So we see life insurance, hospital indemnity, those type of coverages that they've never seen before. So in pet insurance. So I think a lot of people were.
Well, thank your team for all their efforts in making this happen.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. Marketing report. Robert, it's your turn.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, commissioners. I'm happy to cover the marketing and CTO report covering December 2025 and January 2026. Over the last 2 months, we've focused heavily on laying the groundwork for a successful 2026 campaign. On the marketing strategy side, we have done several things. We have finalized a 2026 marketing calendar to outline our efforts and our activities. We've updated a website to reflect the release of the 2026 schedule, which is also an ongoing project to continue updating the website. We have developed an audience persona document. This identifies 24 distinct target audiences. This helps us make our messaging highly targeted and relevant and more effective. We've conducted keyword research to improve our search engine rankings and inform our content strategy going forward in 2026. We've also outlined many marketing campaigns throughout Q1 and Q2 that we plan to flesh out as the months go on. So that's like an ongoing project as well. Historically, Q1 is in our planning phase, so it is typically sort of dark in terms of marketing execution. Major campaigns typically don't launch in April. We are bumping some of that up, as I'll talk about here in just a second. Some revenue highlights. In December, we saw about $68,000 in revenue for the month, booking revenue, which was about 52% increase year over year. And in January, we reached a little bit over $101,000. Our Santa's Holiday Express brought in us 3,000 riders and over $79,000 in total revenue. In our digital reach and engagement, our top of funnel indicators, and this is just how people find us online, remain exceptionally strong. Our website traffic remains strong and increases. So in December, we saw over 24,000 website visitors, which was an 8% increase year over year. Our social media engagement continues to be extremely, extremely strong in the double digits for engagement. For example, our TikTok engagement is 18.9%. When you consider the industry average is 1.9%, it's pretty much dwarfs the engagement. So our audience is highly engaged with us, which is excellent to see. Organic search remains very strong for us. It drives about $73,000 in revenue for December and January, and brought in nearly 20,000 total during that period website visitors. And for publicity and media, our brand awareness is at an all-time high. We ended 2025 with a total of 413 media placements, worth an estimated value of $42 million. Already in 2026, we've secured 10 media placements. We were just featured in the LA Times, which is great. We had some readers share their best train memories, and we were featured as one of them. So that was really great visibility for us. Some of our placements are international as well. So we have some articles in Russian, French, and Spanish, which is quite interesting. So nice to see some international attention. So in terms of next steps for marketing, we still continue to plan, but we are moving into an active demand generation. So we are looking to accelerate bookings early season before the season opens. So we've done some activities such as moving our advertising window up. So for instance, typically we go from an April to October pattern. We've moved that up to a mid-February to September pattern to increase visibility early and increase bookings. We've also secured some low-cost, high-performing placements in several publications like Texas Monthly as well as Trains Magazine. These have typically performed well in the past for us, so again, we're looking to just get the word out sooner about the schedule being open and that we're taking bookings. So trying to just do what we can to increase bookings early. In terms of special events, we have a couple that have launched. We have the Dark Sky Train and Centennial State Limited. So as those are released, as more special trains are released, we'll make sure that the website is updated accordingly and make sure that each special event has its own dedicated marketing plan. And then the other thing will be, again, continuing to update the website, doing an assessment to make sure the website is current, has the most up-to-date information. With the new schedule change, we want to make sure that the information is presented as accurately as possible. We will be including an FAQ section, so we just want to make sure that there's no confusion, or we limit as much confusion as possible for our visitors to make sure they have all the information possible. In summary, our audience is highly engaged, our visibility is still extremely high, and excited about the coming months to improve our visibility, increase bookings, revenue, and promote the train. Yeah. So, any questions?
It's a perfect overview. We
Yes.
appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Yep.
Any questions?
No question.
No questions.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay. Eric, the CEO report.
All right. Well, I'm going to touch on 4 or 5 different categories. Just wanted to give you guys a high-level overview. We've talked a lot about the schedule. I know everybody here and who will be viewing this is likely aware of the new approach that we're taking for the 2026 season. The schedule, the core is there, meaning the long trains or traditional trains. We are now implementing the Chama Express and Chama Limited. Those are being built out as we speak. So if you come and visit the website, you'll see most of those already built in and ready to book. And we're also going through methodically to place our special excursions and experiences for 2026. Some of those, as Robert mentioned, Dark Sky, we're pursuing concepts like chuck wagon dinners and poker night, and we'll continue to do our dinner trains and our beer trains. And we have received quite a bit of feedback and quite a few suggestions, I'll say, for other experiences, which, by the way, we're all ears for. So if you guys have an experience you believe the Cumberson Toltec should explore, please let us know. So anyway, so what you're going to see on the scheduling side is a robust 2026 schedule with most days having multiple departures. And then as we get into the September timeframe, we will be obviously transitioning into a traditional 2 train a day rotating on sides Chama and Toledo. So anyway, so there'll be much more to come in that, and also our marketing material and our messaging will continue to inform the public on what we'll be offering in 2026. I wanted to touch on staffing for a minute. Staffing continues to be, I'll call it challenging as a general category, but we have numerous open roles. We have candidate constraints to find against those open roles. We're constantly evaluating wages and locations of candidates and how we can become an organization that can leverage folks in ways that we maybe haven't in the past. So we are really looking far and wide. We would love to have anybody in the communities who are interested in working with us to reach out to us. If you haven't reached out in a while, and if you have historically, please reach out again. We are totally in the planning stages for seasonal work, and we've got several full-time year-round roles open as well. I'll just touch on sort of the financial stewardship that Alicia mentioned. We are really taking a proactive sort of data-first approach to how we spend money and what we offer. And that includes everything from our charters to our groups to our FIT or transient consumers and what we offer and how we construct things like charters and so forth. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to mitigate sort of leakage or loss in these experiences. The railroad really has to make sure that whatever we're offering, the railroad can realize some incremental revenue and net revenue to allow us to support ourselves. So you'll continue to see as we roll out, as you see new experiences and new opportunities at the railroad, just know that they've been vetted significantly from pro formas to market research, addressable market information, to make sure that we believe strongly that the things that we'll be offering will be sought after and will be, frankly, compelling to a guest and hopefully create lifelong memories for them. Next thing I want to talk about is partnerships and community and partnership development. We are making huge strides and becoming much more active in the communities, both Chama and Antonito. We remain vigilant and active in our participation in the meetings for the towns and cities. And we're also extending that to sort of more broader regional partnership opportunities such as Adams State. We're in active discussions with them to create a pathway for students who are either engaged and enrolled at Adams State or recently graduated or have graduated to find opportunities within the Commerce and Toltec. It's always good for us to find people that live in the tight regions of our communities, and that's just one opportunity that we are pursuing. We've also improved our relationships with New Mexico True, which is the state tourism organization in New Mexico, and we've done the same with Visit Alamosa. So we literally just had meetings with the Visit Alamosa, I think it was earlier this week, and there are so many opportunities that we have in front of us to leverage. And really what this does, it echoes our messages, broadly across the states, because the states obviously want to ensure that what we're saying, if it's relevant for driving tourism for the states, they're going to echo our message. And they also have raised certain financial support opportunities for us, grants and co-investing in marketing and campaigns. So we'll see quite a bit more on that front. And we are also targeting, as I think everybody knows here, more intentful reach into sort of the Denver metro region. We really historically haven't done a great job there. And we're really amping that up because it's a major market. And at the end of the day, we're 4 hours away from Denver for the Antonito side. And, some of our competitors are further away. And we get to offer up a packaging scenario for example, in Alamosa, we have the sand dunes and other experiences that reside here. And many of the nature-oriented experiences in Chama with the beautiful scenery and terrain that exists in the New Mexico side. Just one last thing I wanted to touch on is we are in the midst of reviewing the food vendor RFP submittals. So we are actively reading, reviewing, and setting up questions and Q&As that we'll enter into next week for the folks that have submitted RFP proposals for us to consider. So we anticipate having a decision on that hopefully in the next week and a half. And we'll be talking more about that as we go through. And really, in sort of closing, I did want to mention that we've been fortunate enough to kind of re-engage and redevelop our relationship with the Osterball family. And we have a verbal agreement to bring back the ticket to Toltec. So we are engaged in that conversation, and we'll be doing our research from a publication and a production perspective. And we'll give you guys heads up on how we are moving in that direction, but we're hoping for it to be available this coming season. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Other questions for Eric?
No questions.
No question.
Okay. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. Okay. Local affairs.
I think Eric did a really good job just now explaining why we're doing what we're doing, and I think Billy and I think we've all worked really hard in trying to help calm some of the fears. Change is never easy. Billy and I stopped and talked to the mayor before we left this morning, and he said he didn't have any concerns. He understands that we need to change what we're doing. We can't keep what we're doing and survive. And I think he was pretty much okay. The community's not, as far as I can tell, is starting to relax a little, and then some of the fears starting to dissipate over the changing schedule. And the way I try to explain it is, there's going to be either a train or a bus leaving 6 days a week from both Chama or Antonito. It just depends on what day it is and what's going out. Either buses will be leaving or a train will be leaving. So that's kind of helped maybe understand a little bit of what's actually going on. Like I said, change is never easy, and we're really working hard to calm some of the fears. So I think we still have some work to do, but I think we're starting to make some progress. You have anything?
Nope, just still a lot of questions, but people seem to be getting the hang of it and understanding, so.
And I think the emphasis is that each terminal will have a train in it every day, Tuesday through Sunday, just like it did last year and the year before. And the year before. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate that. Capital projects, Scott.
I don't have a lot to add to what Stephen and Marvin said. The amount of work that got done on track this last year is very, very impressive. And Marvin, thank you for getting the inspection of the Windy Point Rock issues taken care of, and look forward to seeing how the results come out of that this spring. Stephen's comments about the upcoming 1472s and the cascade of one after another. We get through with 492, we jump on to 463, and then there's a K36 following that, and another K36 following that. So we basically have 3 years after we get done with 492 where there's a 1472 inspection every single year. That's going to drive a tremendous amount of capital spending by the railroad. And so making our case to both Colorado and New Mexico for the capital funding we need to make those things happen is going to be critical. And we're right now in the middle of that capital discussion with both states. And so hopefully that will turn out well for all of us.
It's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
Expensive lift.
And it's not only money, it's just time consuming, which is expensive. All right, thank you, Scott. Tracks across the borders byway report.
Okay, hold on. John, I'm going to put you up here next. John Bush is on the phone, and he's going to do the report. I'm going to put him on speaker and bring him up here next to the mic. You're on.
Okay, hopefully everybody can hear me. I'm sorry I'm unable to be there at this time, and that John Porco is also not able to be there. Fairly brief report since it's winter. Most important things, the website has been updated, and I encourage everyone to go and look at it. We are also actively soliciting photos taken between Chama and Durango. Particularly of interest would be photos taken in earlier years. The later years are fairly well documented, but we don't seem to have much on the earlier years. We have received more directional signs, which will be used in New Mexico to help promote the byway. Particularly, these signs will get used near Dulce. Interestingly enough, those signs were actually paid for by Durango, and so we are grateful to have gotten that. We are working at extending the byway up to the Colorado border from Chama so that there can be a continuation of the scenic byway all the way from Antonito. That looks promising, although we don't have much in the way of positive news to actually report at this point. We are currently looking for a representative again from the Utes in Ignacio and from La Plata County. Changes in their government structure has resulted in a vacancy there, but we are looking to fill it up. One of the things we would like to accomplish is getting an informational sign in the Chama yard, like the signs we have at the Watchable Wildlife area and the sign we have at Juanita. to help promote the byway and the activities of the railroad to the travelers who appear there in Chama. That's mostly what I've got for you at the moment. Certainly be willing to take questions if there are any. We're still working with trying to arrange stock cars for the display in Dulce. Progress on that has been slow, but no doors have been slammed in our face at this point. So that's what I've got for now.
John, this is Billy.
Yes, Billy.
Had some people, actually it's a motorbike group that came through, about 13 of them that had gone on the byway, and they really enjoyed it and said it was great. And do we have any idea how many people are running the byway?
I don't think, Billy, that we've got a way of, like a car marker to do that. We have information, which unfortunately I do not have at my disposal at the moment, about hits to the website, and I can get that information for you. I don't know yet if we're able, I'd have to talk to John Porco, if we're able to get, one of those rubber hose traffic counters for somewhere between, let's say, Navajo Tank and the watchable wildlife area. That would be the best indication of traffic there, but I don't have that at the moment. It's a good idea, though.
Yeah, I was just curious. Those 13 people really enjoyed it and praised it, so good job.
Well, thank you. We've gotten mostly positive information about people who have gone along the byway. We also have some information on the number of times the app has been downloaded, and I can probably provide that and make sure that is available by our next commission meeting.
That would be nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you very much for patching me in. It's been a little difficult to hear, but I certainly appreciate being able to be kept up to date on how things are going there.
Okay, very good. And now we'll have the report from the Friends of the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic. And welcome Bill Locke, former commissioner. And good to have you back.
Thank you all. I have just a brief written report that I wanted to hand you for your perusal, but you guys know everything about this anyway. But let me just say that I'm happy to be here, and I'm in a not new role, but a rejuvenated role, I guess. Our previous executive director, Rick Marsden, has retired fairly prematurely in our estimation, but because of the press of his family and some medical matters, he was not spending the kind of time that he wanted with his family and other important matters. So he resigned, and a couple of things that were just kind of in limbo. So we're trying to pick up the pieces, and our directors have all stepped up to the plate to try and fill the hole. Let me first say that we've restarted the executive search process for a new executive director. We are not trying to do without one, so we're making do with the second string, which is why I'm in front of you today. But we're very happy to be here, and certainly encourage all of you to stay in contact with me as a public face for a while. And one of our objectives is to raise more members, raise more money, so that we can be an even greater help to the railroad. So we are searching for a new executive director, and we're planning our work sessions, which we went over with the HPCC. We're going to have a very active work season. We'll be active in Chama and Antonito and all along the line. We're going to have 4 sessions in Chama this year. There are 2 big sessions, C and D, in June, and then we will be having sessions in, I think it's late July and early August, ENF in Chama, but just with a reduced role. But we will be active in the community as well as being active in Antonito for all of our 7 work sessions planned for this year. We hope to have a moonlight train on June 27th. That would be our only special train this year. We had 3 last year, but just this one this year. Our membership level is 1,760 members, and volunteers will be starting to register in the very near future, and we expect at least as many volunteers this coming year as we have had in the past. So I'm open for questions. I know there's another matter that will be coming up that I'll speak on, but let's wait for that. So in any event, I'm open for questions.
I know that your organization is kind of in turmoil right now, but this isn't gonna cut it. No pictures.
Well, Billy, you have to understand, this is last minute for me to do.
And they went all the way to the bottom too, didn't they?
Yeah, they had to start at the very bottom. But I have to tell you, we are not in turmoil because of the tremendous talent that we have. We have a gentleman that's working on membership. We have a team that's working on finance. We have a executive search team that's looking for a new executive director. And perhaps most importantly, our fantastic continuing office staff, Gwen and Katharina, are there every day taking care of business. So we are not in turmoil, if I may.
But it's really important that you pass on our appreciation
Yes.
to everybody in the Friends organization.
Yep.
And
Well,
our support.
Absolutely.
Well, we're happy to support the communities. That's certainly one of our big roles. But we love the railroad, and that's why we do it. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
And next, we'll move into new business.
Do you want public
I'll do that.
later?
Yeah, afterwards. New business, and we have on our agenda to approve or disapprove requests from the Denver South Park and Pacific Historical Society in Como, Colorado, a donation or lease of a restored tank car for their locomotive fuel storage. And we have a representative of their organization, Bob Shoppy, on the phone here, and I will let Bob fill in a little bit around the request. And Bob, can you hear us okay?
I hear you fine. Can you hear me okay?
I can, so we'll do the best to make sure everybody can. So
I take it the commissioners and representatives of the Friends are listening?
Yes.
correct.
Thank you. I'll just take a few minutes of your time. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I presume you're all at least somewhat familiar with what's going on in Como. And the last time I was in Chama, I remember, I've been there many times, but it's been a few years now, I remember seeing a string of unrestored tank cars in Chama. And that planted the seed in my head to possibly ask to obtain one of these somehow, some way. As Mark mentioned, 2 reasons we'd like to have one. One for fuel storage. We are converting our locomotive to fuel like everybody else is doing, you know why. And also because of historical accuracy, we have many pictures of Conoco liveried tank cars going through Como. I don't know if UTLX or Gramps ever went through Como, but we have a lot of evidence and photographs of the Conoco cars. And what I had originally proposed, and I realize it's probably a moot point now, was if we could somehow make a deal to have one of your cars, even if you own it, we lease it or whatever. Give us your worst one. We would restore it to operating condition, brakes, everything, and strip it and repaint it. hopefully to Conoco livery. If you insisted on UTL extra gramps, we'd go for that. Conoco would be my first choice for the historical accuracy. But Mark filled me in on the fact that you guys are restoring all of them. And I got to admit, I love that idea. When you guys finish them and have a 10-car train, I will be one of the first ticket holders to witness that event. But just wanted to get this on the record, our request. That's why we would like to have one under whatever specifications, rules of engagement, whatever you want to call it, that you guys would be willing to do. And I have one, I want to call it a long shot, shoot for the fences proposal. If you're going to restore all of them, and for a 10-car train, as I've heard, I would ask, realistically, when do you think you would get to the last one? And I'm not even sure how many 10 cars you have. I would guess 10 or 12, but I don't know the exact number.
11, I believe.
11? Okay. If it was several years before you got to the last one, and I don't know what your schedule is, maybe you're going to do them all by next year or 5 years down the road. And even if you said yes to this long shot proposal, I couldn't approve it right now. Whatever you guys come up with, if anything, I would have to run past our board, of course. But what I was thinking is possibly if you're years away from the last car, let us have one. We'll pay to move it to Como. We will pay to bring it back, restored, on whatever date you would specify. If it was long enough that we thought it was worth it, that we would restore it to operating condition, strip it, paint it, make it look great, and use it for as long as we could if it was long enough to justify the expense of doing this. But that's one proposal, or any other possibility. We have maybe a dozen cars in Como. I got a couple more coming, one locomotive, one diesel locomotive. And we could sure use a 10-car for a lot of reasons, and that's why I'm talking to you guys. So that's it in a nutshell. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Again, I appreciate you hearing me out. But that was the reason behind the request, was I thought you had spares. I didn't realize that when I first proposed this to the board, the commissioners, that you were going to restore all of them. So do you have any comments or questions for me?
I don't, because you and I have talked about it, but I'll ask if anybody else does. Does anybody else have questions?
I don't have any questions.
And so, Bob, since the Friends were so instrumental in getting those tank cars, we're going to encourage them to make a comment, and then we will make a decision here. So if you want to hang on, we'll have Bill Locke come up and make some comments from the Friends perspective.
That's fine, Mark, but I would add that if you guys, I was going to plant a seed, so to speak. If you guys want to mull it over to the next meeting or whatever, this is not an emergency, but if you wanted to make a decision now, I would welcome that as well.
Okay, thank you, and I'll keep you on the line while Bill discusses here.
Thank you.
Well, it's ironic that I happen to be here today as the person who has been involved with this for quite a few years. There's a chapter in Spencer Wilson's book, which motivated me to start the Friends, called The Missing Tank Cars. And so I started in 1982 working on getting tank cars from Alaska. 10 years later, we got 6 tank cars from Alaska. I had been working since the late 80s on getting 2 additional donations of the Gramps cars, the frameless cars, which we achieved. We have purchased and restored 2 more. All of our tank cars are restored, Bob. That's one thing that, and none are surplus. The tank cars, number 11 for the historic recreation train is in 2 pieces here in Antonito, and we're working on that actively to complete it. There's a little bit more work to do on the 10th car, but basically all the cars are restored and ready to run and have been used in trains regularly. And so these are not surplus cars, and I have heard, I did not know about this proposal because Rick had not shared that with me. But in any event, I didn't know till yesterday about this proposal, but my phone has been blowing up from people who've heard about this proposal. And the team that has worked for years in donating money and labor for tank cars are particularly vocal in their opposition to this. I have not had a chance to discuss with all the board of directors in the limited time since I knew about it, but I can tell you it is unanimously opposed to any of these cars leaving the property. We want them for that train that was mentioned, and we're working to that goal. And all of our people have worked very hard to obtain and restore these cars. So in any event, we would be strongly opposed to this idea.
Okay, I understand. I didn't know you were that far along. I thought you still had a string of them in Shama unrestored. I didn't realize you'd worked that fast. Congratulations on your success in that.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say, Bob? Do you want us to vote on this for you, or do you want to withdraw it? What do you prefer?
It sounds like it's a moot point, and I'm not trying to rock your boat. I was not aware of how far you had gone and what your ultimate goal was, Mark, until you filled me in that they were planning to use all of them, and I agree with that. I'm excited by that. I understand it. If I was on the Friends, I'd feel the same way. I think I just ended with, does anybody know of any other loose tank cars laying around I could go after?
and this is a good room to do it, and Bill's coming back for a comment.
Thank you, Bob. I did mean to mention that. After I found out yesterday about this proposal, I called one of our directors who's been very active in scouting the valley for railroad car bodies. We have, this gentleman found the one left long stock car, 5995, that we totally restored. And I called him yesterday, and he said he knows of two standard gauge tank bodies that are just very similar in size to our tanks were all standard gauge originally. And they're east of La Jara and north on Highway 18. And I have no idea if they're available, but they are there. And there are others in the valley that I'm sure could be found. And so it would be like we have done in scouring for these, it would be helpful for the South Park Society to look for some of these and make contact. We'd be happy to help them to the extent we can.
Okay, trying to write that fast. East of La Jara and north, what was the road?
Highway 18.
Highway 18.
And if Bill and you, Bob, don't mind, I will connect you two so that you can track some down. So this may not have been your intended path, but it might be a path.
Any path leading to a tank car is my path. Okay, well, thank you for that lead. And
Bob,
and Scott's going to comment, Bob.
Bob, why don't you and I talk as well, because I know the Durango Railroad Historical Society is working on restoration of a tank car. So, let's talk.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Mark can coordinate our phone numbers and emails, I guess, or I can give it to you now.
Yeah, I'll help coordinate that. So that will be terrific. So we're going to. I'm proceeding assuming that you are withdrawing this request. Is that correct?
I guess, yeah.
Well, we can. We can certainly vote on it if you wish. Yeah, I think we need to vote on it.
Mr. Chairman, based on the information presented today and the fact that this is an action item on our agenda, I'm going to make a motion to table indefinitely the request.
Okay.
I will second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it's been tabled, Bob.
Indefinitely, yeah. Just leave it on the back burner, and maybe someday something would happen. But I understand completely the current situation, and I'm in agreement with it.
Okay. Thank you, and we appreciate what your organization is doing up in Como. Best wishes to you, and we look forward to talking soon.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and do we have anybody in the audience that would like to make a comment? Okay, terrific. Do we have any old business? Do we need an executive session? I hear none. So there are no actions following executive session. We have a motion to adjourn.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, and actually, I'm going to, I wanted to end at 10, but that's not going to happen. Sam, could you a lot of people don't know you.
Oh.
They see your fine work. I'd like to thank you, and I'm sure the
Hey, you're
commission
quite welcome.
likes to thank you for your hard work and doing the video of these meetings and the write-ups of these meetings, and just know that we really appreciate what you do, because it's a lot of effort to do it.
Yeah, I enjoy doing the work a whole lot, which is really beneficial. And a couple of years ago at the Narrow Gauge Convention in Denver, I ran into somebody from France that reads my report, and it was like, holy cow, I got a worldwide audience. That was really super humbling, and I'm glad to do it. I'll keep on doing it as long as my body will say yes. So,
Thank you.
and thanks for letting me play.
You bet. Thanks again. Okay, sorry to interrupt, Scott. So,
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, folks.
Just a minute and a half long.
Thank you.